But yeah, we got like literally two more pieces of wood to finish that tank stand, and I've been going on and on about it, but I stained it like the last 3 weeks. I've stained it. Um, kind of been hit or miss about posting because my grandma passed away and all that. I don't really like to talk about that kind of shit. Don't like to get too personal anymore because then everybody assumes they know me by what's going on in my life or whatever. But, you know, she had pancreatic cancer, same shit that took out a buddy of ours within the animal keeping community. And everybody knows who Brian is. Took him out like, was it 4 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that. My grandma lasted maybe 6 months and she was gone. And you know, we're not here to talk about that right now though. Basically, we're almost done building the tank stand and all that, and fucking finish that out. I haven't been sleeping very well because of the whole passing and all that, and you know, other than that, I've been taking it kind of all right, I guess, because I knew it was coming. She had stage 3 pancreatic cancer, you know. I've been trying to do everything I could to distract my mind from what was coming, and you know. But yeah, we're planning on also moving from this house by about April or May next year. So it's gonna be a bitch to move all that shit. I'm honestly thinking about getting out of the freshwater keeping hobby and just keeping saltwater. Because I don't have enough patience for both right now. My one tank upstairs here is doing the best out of all my tanks. I haven't had an attrition rate in that tank in like since earlier this year because I started dosing stuff more often and taking care of everything better. But I'm more focused on saltwater lately than I am freshwater, and maybe it's just I got bored of the freshwater, and I've kept freshwater for over 20 years, off and on. A lot of people don't know that about me. I've actually kept freshwater since I was about 10 years old. Yeah, 10, 11 years old, somewhere around there. It's been a great journey, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like I said, I don't have the patience for certain fish anymore, and the fish that I do have that are in freshwater just keep killing each other. And yeah, I know fish kill each other in saltwater as well, but I have not had such rapid, like, Oh, I lose a fish every month pretty much in my freshwater because one of them gets hair up its ass and decides to start attacking the parent fish. I just lost two parent fish within the last 3.5, 4 weeks that I'd had since they were like yay big. And I don't know, it just, yeah, salt water is more expensive, but it'll give me more opportunities to downsize some of the tanks that I have going right now. Like I'll only have 3 saltwater tanks instead of 4 tanks, including a freshwater tank, and it'll also give me the time to completely sand out and repair my acrylic tank that's been on the back burner for like 2 or 3 years. I started sanding it out in 2021, beginning in 2021, and then stopped. But it took me a long time to build that stand. I'm not gonna lie. It took me almost 2 years off and on. And what is flying in front of me? Is it a bucking bug? That was weird. That was really weird. Y'all saw that, right? I'm not the only one that saw that. I don't think it was my vape. Maybe it was. Yeah, it was my vape. I was like tripping out on that. The point is I'm trying to get like to the point where I don't have any fresh water other than maybe I might start up a new freshwater tank with things that I like puffers if I can get the right food again. Cause that was the problem when I moved here is I couldn't get the food that they liked, and they were being so picky, and they ended up dying from lack of blackworms. But yeah, hopefully sometime in the near future, like I can start doing some brackish stuff or whatever, like. But saltwater is gonna be my main thing. Like, um, I plan on, like I'm saying, getting away from freshwater unless it's a species only tank, and I want to get rid of all my old fish that I pretty much raised up, and that Pleco needs to go back to the store because he's done nothing but kill fish after fish after fish as well. Pleco's like literally 2 feet long. I swear, sooner or later he's gonna be the only fucking fish in that tank because what happens is like my adult fish will end up dying, and then I see them a couple days later, almost half sucked apart by that asshole. I'm gonna stay away from plecos for a while because that kind of pissed me off. Like all of Pinky's babies and my asshole Erotis fucking babies and everything else. Like I had crossbreeds or hybrids, as you want to call them, in that tank for years and years and years, and introduce a fucking Pleco into there, and he just destroys my whole lineage. But pretty much what I'm getting at is it's an end of an era for me. I might in the future do freshwater cichlids again, but not the same kind that I had. And probably if I do it, it's gonna be more for breeding and making a little side change. And that's about it. That was the goal when I first moved here. But somebody stole my idea and started up a company called Snake River Cichlids or some shit like that. Right as I moved here. Or they already had the idea. I don't know. I don't know how long Snake River Cichlids has been around, so but I know that there's not very many fish stores in this town. And that's another plan of mine in the near future is to start a fish store slash pet store and get that off the ground. And, like try to change like people's ideal thoughts on like keeping animals as pets or whatever. So I went to this expo this weekend that I saw a few other people tag and whatnot. It was more of a reptile keeping expo, but I saw one thing that kind of annoyed me. It's like they had all these snakes, maybe a few frogs here or there, a couple toads, but they were supposed to have fish at this expo as well, and I didn't see any anywhere. I did not see any anywhere. Maybe it was the first day and I just didn't catch it, but I went out and worked that night too. I don't think I got home till about 3 o'clock in the morning that night. Or that was the night before, but the point is like they weren't even like trying to teach people anything about exotic pets like snakes and frogs and scorpions or they had a few scorpions. That's one thing I forgot. Scorpions and spiders. It's like, yeah, the spiders they were kind of trying to teach people, but it's like there's still people that see spiders as creepy crawlies that squish, squish, squish. But I'm one of those. I don't like spiders. I probably would never keep spiders as pets. But the point I'm getting at is they do these expos, but they don't actually do what a lot of people did when I lived in California, which is teach people anything about them, or vice versa. When I lived in Arizona, I learned a lot about scorpions when I lived in Arizona, and a lot of these people didn't even know half the stuff that I know about scorpions. It's like you keep arachnids, but you don't know anything about them. That to me seems absurd. And you're gonna sell people spiders and scorpions and all kinds of shit at like $50 to $80 a pop for a little tiny spider or a fully grown scorpion that's maybe gonna last 2 months and then it's gonna die as soon as it. That to me it seems absurd. And then like they're selling some snakes and lizards that look so fucking sick that somebody's probably going to take it home and they just wasted $200 of mommy and daddy's money because it was a sick pet. that to me is sick as well. It's like that's what I kind of noticed there. I didn't want to say anything, but at the same time, there a little light has to be shown on this subject. Like, if you're gonna keep animals, even fish for that matter, and they get sick and die, and you're doing something wrong there. And I feel like that's kind of what I've been doing wrong in my freshwater tank. And I feel like it's at the time that I should start over or quit putting so much attention towards the freshwater and just go full saltwater, because I spend so much more time looking at my saltwater tanks all the time. It's like, to me, that's where my attention went. Like, that, and I've lost a lot of friends and family over the last 2 years. So, kind of like this tank behind the camera over here, behind the phone, gets a majority of my attention. There's a spider web. No wonder I was seeing something out of the corner of my eye. There's a spider web. But, you know, like, I've spent so much on that tank in just livestock. I've had 2 or 3 crashes in the last, I don't know, 7 years. I've almost lived here 7 years, 6, 7 years, and I've learned how to take care of that tank better than I do my freshwater. And there's only like 2, maybe 3 times where I've accidentally nuked the tank, not realizing that I did too much. To whereas, like, if you do too much in freshwater, it doesn't do that. It's the opposite. You gotta do too much in freshwater. Like, you gotta literally fucking work your ass off twice as hard. See, with saltwater, what I've learned is a lot of these things you put in it, like calcium, iodine, potassium, strontium, all that, that keeps the water level. To whereas with my freshwater tank, like, you gotta let that shit build up, and and what I mean by let that shit build up is there's a lot of different elements that you don't put in salt water that you put in fresh water, and vice versa, that keep the tank going correctly. But here's the big kicker is, like, I'm starting to get into drilled tanks. Like, I've got one downstairs. I want to buy another one. I don't want to mess with filters anymore. Like, these stupid fucking glorified sponge filters, when I could just have a sump on every single tank I own. That's what all Fluvols are, is they're glorified sponge filters. And I've come to realize this over the years of paying money, tons and tons of money, on something that I legitimately could have just bought maybe 4 or 5 times a year. Filtration media for a sump, and saved hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, compared to having to buy filtration media, and more filtration media. And what I'm also realizing is there's a lot of different things that you can put into a tank that'll keep things level. like the alkaline and all that. And a lot of people don't do it that way. That's the old school way of thinking. But you know, it's like I'm looking at this tank right in front of me, and I've got 3 fish in it, about 4 or 5 hermit crabs, 2 snails, and luckily we haven't had a crash in like 5, 6 months. But that's because I've been on top of like water changes is number one. I have to do a water change at least once or twice a week. And just to make sure detritus doesn't build up. And I need to get some stuff to get rid of cyanoalgae again because like my rocks are getting encrusted in it. Don't get me wrong, I have coral in there. All the coral's alive. This first time in over 3 years where I haven't had just a couple pieces of coral wipe out my whole damn tank because they had some sort of infestation on them. That's the other thing we need to talk about out here. Like a lot of these stores out here do not freaking clean anything. Or you buy it at the wrong time and you get an algae outbreak or a bacterial bloom to the point where you just want to shut the whole tank down and cry. I haven't had such big problems with that lately because I've been making my own damn water, but the only thing I've been buying from this store is like salt water. Other than that, I make all my own RODI. I mean, I should just invest in a 30-gallon bucket and make all my salt water too. And then I won't have to worry about anybody fucking it up but me. But, you know, that's the other thing. I only have to replace RODI filters every 4 to maybe 6 months. And I probably already run about 1,500 gallons through that thing. Yeah. And it's only a 5-stage. But the point is I've narrowed it down to all the things that were causing me issues before. And what I was noticing before is the issues I was having were not throwing anybody under the bus here, but at the same time, I was getting RODI from the fish store. And the only RODI I'm getting from them now is saltwater. And there's been a big supply chain issue on salt that they put into the, like, every few months there will be a supply chain issue on the type of salt that they've been using. That and, you know, corals is another thing. Corals are getting super duper expensive. I remember I used to be able to buy frog spawn, like little frags of frog spawn for like 20-30 bucks. Now it's like $50-$60 for a frag of frog spawn. Now the corals that nobody wants are like green star polyps, others that I didn't have a lot of luck with before, but now I've got 3 pieces of green star polyps in my tank. And they haven't taken over the tank like everybody else says. I must be doing something wrong. I mean, yeah, they've grown, but not like the speed that I've seen them grow in the fish store. Maybe it's not the right light. I mean, I've got a new light downstairs. I should try it out on this tank, but I don't want to have to screw anything to the wall up here. That's kind of why we set up that tank the way we did downstairs. And I've got to put in a new plug before we set everything else up. I've got to move that desk. And here's the other reason we want to get rid of the freshwater tank is because I need more room down there. I need to be able to put that fucking desk in the corner, so it's not getting ruined by salt water. I need to be able to access the circuit breaker downstairs that controls half the upstairs of the house. Yeah, I love my freshwater fish, but at the same time, we're moving on to bigger and better things. And this was more of like a little update for everybody that still comes through to my channel and sees that I'm still alive for the time being. We're not promised tomorrow, all right? That's one thing I realized with both my grandparents dying the last 2 years. Okay? We're not promised tomorrow. Nobody is. I don't have any grandparents anymore. Unless I'm counting my step-grandma, which I haven't seen her in... God, since I was like 8 years old. And I'm 33 now. Which is my uncle's mother, my half-uncle's mother, my half-aunt's mother. My grandpa got around on my dad's side. I haven't seen my dad's sister in pretty much 20 years. 25 years. No. Yeah, 25 years since I was 8 years old. My grandpa died in 2005. My dad's dad. My grandma died when I was like 2.5. My dad's mom. Yeah. I never met my grandpa. So no, I really don't have any grandparents left. They're all gone. And I don't want anybody going and leaving condolences and all that other junk. And I don't need that right now. What I need is just positivity, uplift. That's why I've kind of like been distracting my mind, not coming on as much. I haven't even been going on TikTok live as much. And I was doing that like 3 times a day while working a job that literally was going nowhere and showing me that I could probably do bigger and better things. When I told my dad my ex-boss was a weirdo and he was like fucking grabbing my shoulder and shit, even after I told him that you know, like I've got shoulder problems. Don't touch my shoulder. Can you please not touch my shoulder? Yeah. So on the level, if I probably stayed working for that company that I was working for 3 months ago, Probably would have fucked him up. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad I quit that job, and I'm glad I am doing what I'm doing now, because it gives me more freedom to actually live life again. And I'm not partying anymore. I'm not doing anything illicit anymore. And I'm just meaning smoking weed. I don't smoke weed anymore. And if people were just here because I smoked weed before, well, I haven't smoked weed in fucking almost a year and a half. Give or take. Quit drinking as well. And what I mean, like a year and a half, I was doing it every day. A year and a half, maybe somewhere around there. Compared to like when I started smoking a little here and there last year, beginning of this year, I completely quit. But it's like, to me, like, I wasn't getting high anymore. And that to me showed me that I needed to quit. I was really, at that point, just using it for my shoulder pain, but I wasn't getting high. And if people don't believe me on that, you get to a point where you've smoked so much in your life that you don't get high anymore. I'm sure if I smoked right now, though, in fucking 1 minute, I'd be gone for like 3 or 4 hours. But that's just because I haven't smoked in so long. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. Is sobriety's taught me a lot, how to slow down a little. I haven't gotten back to the point where I completely enjoy life, but I'm getting there. And, you know, a lot of people don't know my life. They just know what I tell them on a 4-inch screen, 5-inch screen, 3 across, five horizontally, and that's about all they know. But gotta go down and like start cleaning out grandma's house, all that. Remodeling shit. The joys, right? Tearing out the lath and plaster, putting in an actual drywall, because that house should have had it done 20 or 30 years ago before I was born. Putting a new roof on it, which we're probably going to have to pay someone for. Yeah. Would I love to have 5 more minutes with my grandma? Yeah. But, you know, like I said, I'm not looking for condolences or a pity party or any of that shit. And I don't even really like talking about it. Cancer sucks. It's where I'm at. It's like, I know now what Brian's family's going through. But, you know, at least he had a dream that is being fulfilled. And my grandma was 81 years old, alright? She was old. If the cancer didn't get her, the old age would have. She lived a long life. She's partying it up there in heaven. Or whatever you believe in. And when I was in California, one of the last times I saw her alive, she kind of prepared me for this, told me that, I'm not going to make it to Christmas. I don't think I'm going to make it to Christmas. She kept telling me that over and over again so that I would be prepared for what was coming. She said this bout of cancer is worse than breast cancer, and she was right. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too much further into this, and hopefully, in my opinion, hopefully we get all these fucking Democrats out of office. Yeah, I'm going political here for a second, because healthcare has become a fucking joke in this country ever since Democrats took it over. Healthcare is a joke. Universal fucking healthcare is crap. It pays the bare minimum. My grandma would still be alive if she wasn't on Medicare. Probably if she didn't get the C-19 shot either. Yeah, I went there. I don't care who that offends, because those are the facts right there. She didn't have pancreatic cancer until she got that bullshit. And if she did, it wasn't that progressed until she got that bullshit. That was 2.5, 3 years ago. Yeah. Just remember, though, I finally am finishing my tank stand. I have 2 more pieces of wood to put in, and then it's done. 2 more pieces, and then it's done. And then I don't have to fuck with it for a while. And I leveled it out and everything else. And that was a pain in the ass in itself, because I'm probably going to have to redo some stuff when I take it apart when we move out of this house too. But I enjoyed this house while we live in it. I enjoyed my time while I had it with my grandmother. She's where I honestly get my black and white attitude from. It's where I get my lead foot from when I drive. She taught me how to drive, how to cut people off. You gotta remember the good times. You can't focus on the negativity. But someone once told me recently this year that I need to learn how to love myself before I can love others. Well, I've been loving myself for over 10 years. Just think about that one. Have a good night. God bless.